So I've asked Paul to come along. As everybody's may or may not be aware, we did receive some funding through the UKC3 body to enhance the resources we've got available to prosecute our work and mission. And one element of that was a skills coordination project or role, which Paul has kindly picked up in collaboration with Pete Jones, Anthony and Akim. So we've been working on that in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And I just asked Paul to come along and give us a quick brief on what the project and activity looks like as we roll it forward to the end of the financial year. So Paul, the floor is yours.
Lovely, thank you, Robin. Slightly embryonic project at this stage, following Mike's rather impressive slide deck. I've nothing similar to use at the moment, but as Robin says, it's a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in this piece of work. So the concept really is that, as Robin says, the UKC3 stuff has moved forward, and we've a little bit of money we can use to develop different pieces of the cluster's work. Everyone probably knows we've got these concepts of business protection, skills, and innovation. So this piece of work is focused on the skills area, and essentially there's the idea is principally one of coordination. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on around the region in the vein of skills. So we want to connect with a bunch of those different activities and initiatives and sort of bring them together, or connect them together, or interface with them in whatever the right way is. We're thinking about that in terms of a few different kind of streams. There's potentially some great work to do with schools, particularly at the secondary end around skills. There are some national initiatives that we can work alongside there. There's colleges and universities from a sort of student perspective as well, and then there's employment, recruitment, and sort of retraining. So we've got those sort of three groups or areas that we can spend some time looking at. We're really keen to get useful information onto the cluster website. So over the course of the next kind of 4 months, there'll be a reasonable amount of effort directed towards that, producing information that can be shared with people that need it. One example at a slightly lower level, which we've got to so far, is around helping students at the college and university end kind of understand more about what the cyber workplace really looks like. There's an awful lot of confusion, it would seem, or misunderstanding, or simply just not kind of knowing what career options are available as someone makes the move from education into the workplace. So we're going to put some time into that. And we also think at the college and university, and there's a lot of value in bringing students together in a group to look at kind of different perspectives and share some knowledge in terms of what we've learned about what the workplace looks like and those sorts of things. And we're delighted to have Akim inside the team to help us work on that. But it's very much a pilot project. So what we're kind of also looking to do is to bring back sort of gaps, opportunities, thinking that we could use to stimulate further work in the skills area over a longer period of time. This particular project's running through till March, so we've got sort of 5 months to start this work off and get some coordination in place around skills. But with one eye on kind of April 2022 onwards, thinking about what might have a more lasting impact, perhaps if we could draw some longer threads out of it. So that's a quick sort of whistle stop tour of it, Robin. Anything else you wanted me to sort of pick up on with it?
No, I don't think so, Paul. I think this has been a long sort of held notion, and it was. I think I hark back to Rupert's question many moons ago to say, thanks, Ross. Thanks for joining. Where Rupert said, in actual fact, when we were talking about skills, what's strategy, and we hadn't really got one beyond being that signposting. As best efforts signposting thing, along with being a cyber first facilitation partner, as as best that was. So there was a notion really that this is one area where we can be at a coordination focal point for that, and I'm just grateful for for the funding to be able to pull that together, and rather than just get on and do some stuff, which we've kind of been doing and we will continue to do. Now's the point to bring the stuff together into a more coherent sense, that, as Paul describes, gives us the ability then to anchor that into a permanent role for a full 12 months funding for next year, where we can bring in all of the entities that are in our region, the FE colleges, we've got SWCSC with Steve, you've got Andrew with Salute My Jobs, all these disparate pieces maybe just come together with the cluster acting as that focal point for people in our region, and we're quite unashamedly parochial in that, because of course that's what our remit is. So I'm hugely encouraged by this. Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely, it gives us that. So sometimes you kind of look at some of the things that are going on and think, oh, it'd be quite cool if we could, but by doing this, we're sort of creating a bit of capacity to be able to do that thing that sometimes you look at that think, oh yeah, that's going to be, we need a little bit of time to do that. Well, this is the idea here, is to create some of that time and capacity to be able to and capability to be able to do some of those things, either as part of this pilot, if things can be arranged in the next kind of 4 or 5 months, then we can press on and do them. So kind of part of what I'd say as well is, if anyone's kind of involved in any of the skills pieces around the Southwest, I'd be delighted to sort of have a chat and see what that looks like, see what we could do to kind of either support or join it up with something else, or whatever really. But also with that eye on the future.
Yeah, and I think your point is well made, Paul. In actual fact, wouldn't be nice if I think we'd like to get to a position it'll be great when. So Andrew and I had spoken before about Salute My Jobs. What does that formalized piece look like? I had an interesting discussion with Grad Southwest, who said, we should be posting jobs or graduates formally into the website. Well, alongside this, we've got the website redevelopment project. So those are practical things we can just get on and do, and hopefully that the momentum drives behind it. Sitting behind this, we've got the Cyber Futures program, the pilot project, which we're running with South Devon College. So we've got that running. So it starts to be really quite a tangible way of moving stuff forward.